Well, when we speak of oceans, we speak of oceans. We are late. We speak of will. We need more political will. We speak of passion. I don't know how to deal with the oceans without passion. We speak of science. Without knowledge, it's impossible. We speak of education. But we speak also of gratitude. We must thank UNESCO. For a long while, you were almost alone in oceanographic studies. Today, it changed. But let us think of what happened 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago. There was UNESCO, alone, even 20 years ago, studying, researching. Thank you for your fight. Thank you for organizing this event on the very first day of this conference. Then, of course, commitment. This call means commitment. And commitment means, first of all, international cooperation. It's so good to have this sign today. We are showing multilateral cooperation. It's not the fashion these days. The fashion is dissent, not consensus. It's a good sign that here in Lisbon, we speak of making peace with nature and with among us through knowledge, through science, through education. Then, of course, investment. We need investment on science, on research. Speaking of Portugal, we must confess, we were late, as most of us, and then we decided to recover through our Portuguese Public Agency for Science, Technology, and Innovation. We started by funding 5 strong research infrastructures, 6 R&I centers, 4 collaborative laboratories, and 3 associated laboratories, but create 4 financial instruments. Financing is vital. You cannot research without financing. Blue Growth EEA grants, Blue Fund, Portuguese Blue and Portuguese Recovery and Resilience Planning, Blue Hub, a networking infrastructure for the blue economy with a large funding. Then we felt it was not enough. So we just founded recently the National Center of Oceanic Data. We needed to coordinate the data in a very intensive and very brilliant scientific, academic, Portuguese sector. But then we needed to make the bridge between science, investing more, of course, science and implementation of knowledge. We were very late concerning mapping. We have just about 20%. It's not enough. And even 30% by 2030, it's too late. It must be before 2030. We have a huge continental platform, a huge economic exclusive zone, perhaps the largest in Europe, one of the largest in Europe, if not the first, the second. We must map it. And we must map it because we are increasing the number of protected areas, maritime protected areas. We started by the Atlantic, Madeira and Azores. 30% in Madeira, will be in 30% in Azores, soon, very soon, but then the rest of it. And of course, education. If you speak of science, of knowledge, of research, and don't speak of education, of oceanic literacy, you're missing one point called the future. So we started a program called Blue School Program, involving 321 schools, 1,200 teachers, over 100 partners, 55,000 students. We received the European Award for Best Education Practices in Ocean Literacy. And it expanded to become the All-Atlantic Blue School Network coordinated by Portugal. That involved establishing a network of floating Atlantic universities in which Portugal, together with its Atlantic partners, undertakes the coordination and cooperation among the existing Atlantic Sea training programs. And we must double and multiply this investment in education. And finally, the personal commitment. No use as speaking of commitment without the personal commitment. As a patron, I consider myself called for action. Not only the others. It's easy to speak as someone else's problem. No, all of us called. And this Lisbon conference must be not just a sign that there is room for making peace, multilateralism, dialogue, and cooperation, but also a sign that we're going to act even deeper and quicker. And so I'm committed till the end of my term, 2026, and after the end of my term, because I'm professor, I will always be professor on research, education, the future of the ocean. Those were the aims of these decades. We shall overcome the obstacles, I'm sure. Thank you.